Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble the rhinoceros pattern. This one is showing an Indian rhinoceros, which has just one horn, but the pattern does include other rhinoceroses that have two horns, so you can do it either way. Here's how to do it. All right, this is the video showing how to assemble the rhinoceros block if you're using a light box. So first, my light box setup. I've got my light box on, turned as bright as it'll go. I have a tempered glass cutting board in here. That's optional. I just have it because my ironing board is some distance from where I have the good lights for recording videos, and this makes it easier for me to transfer my pieces to the ironing board without shifting them. And since it's tempered glass, I can fuse right on this and not have to move them at all. I've got my placement guide, and I have a clear silicone sheet. I've got all of my pieces cut out and prepared. That means I've got them, I printed my pattern pieces onto the paper side of fusible backed adhesive. I use Heat and Bond Light for all of my quilts. And you can trace if you prefer, but I like to have them, I like to print them. You can ignore all the dotted lines inside the pattern. Those are placement guides for people who aren't using a light box. What you don't want to ignore are the solid lines. Those are stitching lines, and you do need to transfer those before you peel off the paper backing, and you lose those as guidelines. So the eyelashes are optional. The little mouth, I don't think is. I think you really need that smile. So I'm going to transfer those right now. I am going to give this guy the eyelashes. So you just flip it over and just use a fine tip Sharpie and transfer those lines. And then the mouth just goes like that. And it's okay that this is a permanent pen. I'm going to stitch over those lines with black thread, and you'll never see that pen again. So we are going to start with piece number 1. The numbers tell you what piece is what, and they also tell you in what order to lay them down. So piece number 1 is the ear on the other side of his head. Piece number 2 is his body. All right, well, looks like I cut that a little crooked. Piece number 3 is the ear on this side of his body. So piece number 4, I'm going to lift this so you can see it a little more clearly. 4 is his nostril, 5 is his eye. If you ever have trouble seeing the lines through this, just push down and make contact, and you'll be able to see them shining through better. But I wasn't sure if it would show up on the video well enough to show you the numbers of those ovals. But there are 2 solid black ovals, and the small one is his nostril. That goes right there. And then the large one is his eye. And that goes right there. All right, now I decided to make a one-horned. So you can, some rhinos have 2, most rhinos have 2 horns, but Indian rhinos have just 1 horn. So I designed the pattern so that you could do it either way. And this version is the Indian rhino. And so he just gets the front horn. And what you want to do, there's 2 points here, even more important than getting the line, the tip of his horn lined up, because you may not have been super accurate in cutting it out. But you want to get those points down here, the corners, lined up with the edges of his head, and that will make it look like it's kind of growing out of his head. So there we go, finished rhino. We're skipping piece number 7. I'm going to carry this over to my ironing board, fuse all the pieces in place, and then I'll do all of the outline stitching on it and bring it back and show you the finished rhino, and also show you 2 other versions that I made in other colors. Okay, here is one finished rhinoceros. This one I made an Indian rhino, so it only has the 1 horn, and I added the optional eyelashes, which I think make them extra, extra cute. But here are 2 other rhinos. So this one I made with the 2 horns, and this one is more like a Sumatran rhino is often kind of brownish colored. And then I did one more version. This one also has 2 horns. Oh, and I gave every one of them the eyelashes. I usually do one without so you can see what that looks like, but I guess I couldn't resist the eyelashes on the rhinos. So all of the rhinos got eyelashes this time, but you can definitely leave them out if you don't want to stitch those little lines. So 2 different rhino versions, 1 or 2 horned, and you can get the pattern at shinyhappyworld.com. I'm Wendy, and I will see you next time.